So what happened? It happened in real life. And exactly 3 years on from that, I'm joined by Deborah's daughter, Tara, live from her home. And we want to begin by thanking you, Tara. And it's an anniversary. Is it an anniversary that you commemorate?
To get after, and he wanted to hurt my mom. So it's honestly, and I am here today.
And he is dead. He is dead.
Yes, he is dead.
And is that as lighthearted as it seems? I mean, you have to live with that. What is that like to live with?
Well, honestly, I was living with him. Fear. Many women are not living in that fear either. So I'm honestly happy that he's gone and I'm here. It was a hard journey, but I'm still here today, so.
Well, we're very glad you are. It was a terrifying ordeal for you, Tara. Just take us back to when you first met John Mead.
I would try to ask him questions, then he would give me close-ended answers.
How quickly did you and your older sister kind of believe you had the measure of him and you didn't trust him?
2 weeks after we met.
I mean, she believed this initially, but he was able to wheedle his way back into her life and convince her otherwise. How would you describe your mum? Do you describe her as...
Target women that are sweet, necessarily are strong and can do it on their own. Like my mom is like that, but she has a soft spot, so they really try to find that soft spot in a woman.
It is incredible when you watch this, Tara, you know, I watched the series, is that your mum was a very, very successful... but this was happening to you and your family in real life. How frustrating was it for you and your sister trying to tell her, this is what he's like, Mum, don't go back? Why do you think she did
that? Whatever we were saying, we were just jealous, we were spoiled children. Everything that he was saying was the truth. He could have lawyers prove it, bring her a smoothie every day, carry her purse, just do anything to help her out and to be like, oh my gosh, like, that's helpful. I really...
It couldn't have been believable.
You think that marriage for a while, it was a secret marriage because it happened right after my fight with John on Thanksgiving. It's gonna be a lot harder for her to get out of this relationship.
No, he had previous relationships as well. And just to, you know, go back on the anniversary 3 years ago today, this man was trying to kill you. He was also trying to kidnap you. He had all sorts of, you know, bondage and tape in his car and drugs to sedate you. But it turned out that you actually have made friends with his previous wife and children.
Yes, I made friends with his wife and his daughters. And they're just amazing people, and they were kind of living in the same situation where they were in fear from him.
And how, Tara, as Eamon said, 3 years on, how are you getting over the trauma? And it was a trauma, despite us enjoying a TV series. You know, this happened to you. It was an absolute trauma. How are you now, and how are you moving on with your life and getting over what's happened to you and your family?
I still experience PTSD, but I'm working on that every day and with a therapist once a week doing EMDR therapy. I'm also now being an advocate for women and other people, teaching them about red flags in relationships, about abuse, and about PTSD and what happens after. So I feel like it's the best blessing, actually, to have this experience, even though it was very difficult. And at the end of the day, it made things way better, and now women can see that there are bad men out there.
And Tara, you talk about this. You've started your own podcast as well, Time Out with Tara. What are you trying?
Time Out with Tara.
Yeah, what are you trying to do with that? And I presume one of the things you're trying to do is to make people aware of the relationships they're getting into.
So I'm interviewing women and other people with great stories. I feel like whenever someone has a story, there's always something that you could take from it and learn from it. So I'm getting not just dating stories, but I do get into that, and I teach women like, oh, hey, this isn't right. This other thing's not right. So these are red flags, and then also just getting into what's just bad and not a red flag and just maybe just a fault.
Well, it's interesting listening to that, Tara, because that's what our phone is going to be about today. Thank you so much for staying up so late to talk to us. You know, it's been fascinating to listen to the true story behind the series Dirty John, which we all enjoyed so much. Thank you, and also best regards to your mum and your sister, and we wish you well going forward.
Thank you.
Because you think that it couldn't have been a true story. It couldn't possibly have been a true story.
Remember we had the woman in last week who was a victim of that con man, intelligent, beautiful, and you think, no, you know, you'd realise, and even when your own family are saying to you, listen, Mum, look at this. The love is there, this coercive behaviour where they kind of love bomb you.